boys and girls. It's me again, Piper. I am so excited to share with you this week's story. Our story this week involves two of my very good friends, Frog and Toad. And the adventure that they're going to be on has to do with their garden, so I decided I would share with you some of the other talents that I have. For example, I have a green dew claw. That means I really like to plant. Well, you know I like to dig, but I also have been helping Mommy plant some things. So we're going to share that with you throughout the story. Now, my friends Frog and Toad are very good friends of mine because they, like me, can talk and solve problems, and they help each other out, just like I do with Mommy. I don't wear clothes because, that might get itchy and such, but they're really awesome. So if you haven't learned about them yet, I hope you like them and you decide to read more of their stories. Enjoy! This week's story is called The Garden, from Frog and Toad Together by Arnold Lobel. Arnold Lobel is a very famous children's author. He started drawing when he was just a child, and when he grew up, he wrote and illustrated almost 100 books for children. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of books and drawing and writing words. His books have won him many awards. Frog and Toad has even been made into a Broadway musical. I could be in a musical. Well, maybe someday. The Garden, from Frog and Toad Together by Arnold Lobel. This story is a fantasy. That means the things that happen in the story could not happen in real life. Like some of the events couldn't really happen, or, well, it says that animals can't talk and act like people, but I have some questions about that one. We hope you enjoy this fantasy. As you're listening, think about what grows in a garden. As you can see, I had to move inside because the sun set and it was a little too chilly for my liking. But anywho, as I read this story to you, maybe you could pay attention to the story elements. Do you remember what the story elements are? Let's see, it starts with character, and then you've got your setting, and then you have the plot, which is the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Listen for those as I read this story to you. Frog was in his I know A-R makes the R sound, and I know D-N, den, so it has to be G-R-D-N, garden. Frog was in his garden. Yeah, that sounds right. Toad came walking by. What a fine garden you have, Frog, he said. Yes, said Frog, it is very nice, but it was hard work. I wish I had a garden, said Toad. Here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground, said Frog, and soon you will have a garden. How soon? Asked Toad. Quite soon, said Frog. Toad ran home. Hey, there's a word on this page that's highlighted in yellow. That looks like our vocabulary word, few, which meant, what did that mean again? Oh, right, it meant more than one, but a small amount. So like 2 or 3 or 4. Let's see if that makes sense when I read this. He planted the flower seeds. Now seeds, said Toad, start growing. Toad walked up and down a few times. The seeds did not start to grow. That did make sense. He walked up and down more than once, but not a ton of times. Oh. Let's pause for a moment. What What have we learned so far about the story? Do we know anything about the characters, the setting, or the plot, like the beginning of the story? Well, we know the characters. We have Frog and we have Toad. Yes. Let me write that down. Oh, I see another vocabulary word on this page. Let's see, this one says loudly. And then there's a part where I have to speak for the character because there's quotation marks. I'll have to make sure I say that part loudly. Let's give it a try. Toad put his head close to the ground and said loudly, "Now seeds, start growing." Toad looked at the ground again. The seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head very close to the ground and shouted, "Now seeds, start growing!" Frog came running up the path. "What is all this noise?" he asked. "My seeds will not grow," said Toad. "You are shouting too much," said Frog. "These poor seeds are afraid to grow." "My seeds are afraid to grow?" asked Toad. Do you see any words on this page or any other pages that have been repeated? I wonder why those words are repeated. "Of course," said Frog. "Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them. Soon your seeds will start to grow." That night, Toad looked out of his window. "Drat," said Toad. "My seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark." Toad went out to his garden with some candles. "I will read the seeds a story," said Toad. "Then they will not be afraid." Toad read a long story to his seeds. What is Toad's problem in this story? And how do you think he's trying to solve it? All the next day, Toad sang songs to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad read poems to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad played music for his seeds. Hey, the author repeated those words all the next day 3 times on that one page. That must be important to the story. Let's see, all the next day. Well, that's showing us that days have passed. That must be important to the story. Toad looked at the ground. The seeds still did not start to grow. "What shall I do?" cried Toad. "These must be the most frightened seeds in the whole world." Then Toad felt very tired, and he fell asleep. "Toad! Toad! Wake up!" said Frog. "Look at your garden!" Toad looked at his garden. Little green plants were coming up out of the ground. "At last," shouted Toad, "my seeds have stopped being afraid to grow." "And now you will have a nice garden too," said Frog. "Yes," said Toad, "but you were right, Frog. It was very hard work. That toad is so funny. He thought the seeds were afraid to grow when all they needed was time. That silly toad. Well, I thought of some questions for you about the story. Maybe you could answer 1, 2, or all of them and send it to your teacher. Let's give it a try. Number 1, why did Toad think that the seeds were afraid to grow? Number 2, what really made the seeds germinate or grow? That's my new fancy word I learned the other day. Germinate. Number 3, how was Frog helpful to Toad? Number 4, what would you do to solve Toad's problems? Maybe you could retell the story to someone you know. You could tell the beginning, the middle, and the end. Or you could even draw pictures of the beginning, the middle, and then the end with some labels. I love pictures. We hope you enjoyed this story. And until next time, bye-bye.